This is Paul. Yes. I was just looking at the Latin Crimean Repetundarum, accusation of money to be repaid. Yes. Now, in Roman law, a charge of extortion brought against a Roman provincial governor, any act of misgovernment or oppression on the part of a magistrate or official. Yes. Now, any act of misgovernment or oppression on the part of a magistrate or official. Yes. The Crimean Repetundarum. Yeah. Now, as I remember it, Roman law was what was used to crucify Jesus. Yes. I think his name was Pontius Pilate that actually gave the order for the crucifixion. We might look at it. Yeah. But this act of misgovernment or oppression on the part of a court commissioner, yeah, a judge, yes, or judges, poop. Then there are those that are police officers that could be considered government officials, yeah, sheriffs. Hmm. See, there's what's known as government, and then there's misgovernment, and then there's known as liberty, and then there's oppression. Now, let's say you issued a 10-year protection order and you used the forgery of the ex officio superior court clerk, yes, with the intention of oppressing my rights as a father, yes, violating the civil rights of the minors named, yes, violating the privacy of the petitioner. Now, yesterday we were talking about the petitioner, yes, as an actual office, and then there was the color of the process, known as the declarations against me. But then there's the oppression of a government that refuses to acknowledge the requirements of the law. Yes. I would say that for 8 years you have oppressed myself, my sons, Pooch, and those that I want to sue because they haven't been at liberty to receive the lawsuits. Now, it's actually criminal to obstruct any person's right to use the court system of the United States. And as much as you thought, well, we're going to oppress Paul and keep him homeless, right? We are not going to acknowledge the laws of the United States. It actually violates the rights of every person that I'm going to sue, yes, to not enable them to receive the lawsuit. Now, on the one side, I'm going to sue you for the oppression right now of myself and my family because there was no due process. Right. But on the other side, I'm going to sue you for every lawsuit that you've obstructed since I told you, yes, on November 15th of 2015, yeah, the petitioner didn't sign the protection order. Yes. I was not given any due process. Yes. And you issued it for 10 years. Now, as much as you would say that the intention of a domestic violence protection order, a child abuse protection order, yeah, is to protect the petitioner and the minors named, yes, it's oppressive to issue it for 10 years, yes, where city law says 1 year if there are minors named, pooch. And even if you were to go more than 1 year, considering the number of children, 10 years is oppressive. Now, there seems to be no constraints on the misgovernment of the abuse of process to issue court orders that are for 10 years because you said that I had to have a mental health evaluation and treatment if recommended. Now, you said the same thing since July 8th of 2011, where my wife wasn't a resident. We talked about Social Security. Yeah. When we filled out, well, she might have had to sign the form, but I'm the actual individual that went to the Social Security office. Yes. And then when we had issued the passport of Benjamin, yes, I did pay for the passport. Did Heidi contribute any money? Ooh. And then when we went to get the passports at Guam tax, yes, Mhm. Maybe Heidi remembers when we went there and we submitted all the necessary documentation. See, we traveled to Guam with just our driver's licenses. Yes. You could travel to that American territory, maybe all of them, just with a driver's license, but you could not leave the island without a passport. Oh, it was one of these nuances where they allowed you to leave the mainland to go to a U.S. territory with just a driver's license. But you could not travel from a U.S. territory to the mainland without having a passport. Oh, well, when we got there, our thought was we would wait until Benjamin was born. Yes. And then we would pay out of my money. Yes, we would. For the passports to be issued so that we could travel back whenever we wanted to. Now, we didn't wait, did we? No. I was very diligent as a father to make sure that my wife could travel anytime she wanted. I didn't hold her hostage. Pooch. I didn't keep her there right now. See, if I had wanted to really be a dick of a dad, yes, I could have decided, well, I'm just not going to pay for passports and then we're stuck on the island and you'll never be able to leave. But soon after Benjamin was born, we were living at the Tamuning Plaza. Yes, and Benjamin was maybe 3 months old. He was born in September. We were probably, I think we applied while at the Tamuning Plaza. Yes, yes, yes. We had to get pictures of him. And then I made sure that we did have passports so that we could leave whenever we wanted. Yes. Now, for all of you that thought that I was an oppressive husband and father, yes, if I was really oppressive, I would not have paid to have the passports issued. My wife was always free to leave anytime she wanted. It just proves the fact that I wasn't an oppressive husband. Yes, I was not a tyrant of a father. Yes, but I find it oppressive right now that you, as a court, refuse to acknowledge your oppression and misgovernment. Now, today, we're going to talk about that liberty that you've been denying me. See, last week, I went through the actual driver's license. Right. The right to be employed. Yes. The right to Social Security. Yes. The right to be informed and giving consent anytime that you involuntarily admit me into any psychiatric, psychological, or mental insurances. Yes. Well, it's really an oppression of the liberty of being an American citizen to not have informed consent. Now, this due process, known as a mental health evaluation, poop! I would say that it violates life, liberty, and property, both the Fifth and the 14th Amendments, to not have informed. Now, let's say I went to suing you today for violating that liberty of being an American citizen. Yes, to not have to be a patient of the psychiatric industry, to not have to be a patient of the mental, the medical industry. Now, you would have thought these class action lawsuits, but when you really consider what you've done, I wasn't in Squib. No, he wasn't. I wasn't in Britain. No, he wasn't. And I would say that there's a large lawsuit today, large lawsuit today for violating the liberty of being an American citizen. I gotta call you right now.